The crystalline walls of the Zephyrian palace trembled with each piercing wail that echoed through the corridors. Mino pressed her palms against her ears as she walked alongside Daniel, their boots clicking against the translucent floor that seemed to pulse with an inner light. 3 days, Daniel muttered, adjusting his rifle strap. 3 days of non-stop crying. No wonder they're desperate enough to ask humans for help. Mino nodded grimly. As part of the Terran diplomatic corps, she had seen many strange requests from alien species, but this one topped them all. The mighty Zephyrian Empire, rulers of 17 star systems, had sent an emergency transmission to Earth. Their queen's newborn heir wouldn't stop crying, and their most advanced scientists were baffled. The massive doors to the royal chamber slid open with a sound like singing crystal. Inside, the scene was chaos. Dozens of Zephyrians, tall, graceful beings with iridescent skin and elongated limbs, fluttered around a floating cradle in the center of the room. Their usually melodious voices had become sharp with panic and exhaustion. At the far end of the chamber sat Queen Lyrilleth, her crown of living light flickering weakly. Dark circles shadowed her large, multifaceted eyes. She looked up as the humans entered, hope and desperation warring in her expression. "The humans have arrived, Your Majesty," announced the Prime Minister, his voice barely audible over the infant's wails. Mino stepped forward and bowed respectfully. "Your Majesty, I'm Ambassador Mino Chen, and this is Sergeant Daniel Rodriguez. We came as soon as we received your message." Queen Lyrilleth rose unsteadily. "Ambassador, we are grateful beyond words. Our daughter, Princess Zalara, has been crying since the moment of her birth. Our finest healers, our most advanced medical technology, our ancient rituals, nothing works. We detected unusual quantum resonance patterns in your species' neural activity. Perhaps there is something uniquely human that can help." Daniel glanced at the floating cradle where the tiny princess lay, her translucent skin shifting through colors of distress, deep purples and angry reds. The sound of her crying was unlike anything on Earth. It seemed to vibrate in dimensions that human ears weren't designed to hear, creating an almost physical pressure in the air. "May I?" he asked, surprising everyone by stepping toward the cradle. The Zephyrian attendants backed away nervously. Queen Lyrilleth nodded, too exhausted to object. Daniel had always been good with children. Back on Earth, his sisters often joked that he had magic hands when it came to calming their kids. He approached the cradle slowly, removing his helmet and setting down his weapon. "Hey there, little one," he said softly, his voice cutting through the wails. "What's all this fuss about?" The baby's crying stuttered for just a moment, the first pause anyone had heard in 3 days. Encouraged, Daniel reached into the cradle and gently lifted the princess. She was lighter than he expected, her skin warm and slightly luminescent. The moment Princess Zalara settled against Daniel's chest, something extraordinary happened. Her cries faded to whimpers, then to soft gurgles. The colors in her skin shifted from distressed purples to calm blues and gentle greens. The quantum pressure in the air dissipated, and for the first time in days, silence filled the royal chamber. Every Zephyrian in the room stared in amazement. Queen Lyrilleth's eyes widened, her crown blazing brighter with renewed hope. "How?" whispered the Prime Minister. "How is this possible?" Mino, trained in xenobiology, was already forming theories. "Humans evolved as intensely social creatures," she explained. "Our neural patterns are uniquely adapted for empathy and emotional resonance. We developed complex caregiving instincts not just for our own young, but for any creature we perceive as needing protection." Daniel rocked the baby gently, instinctively making the soft shushing sounds that came naturally to humans. Princess Zalara's tiny hand wrapped around his finger, her bioluminescent patterns now pulsing in sync with his heartbeat. "There's more to it," Mino continued, watching the miraculous scene unfold. "Human electromagnetic fields operate on frequencies that seem to harmonize with Zephyrian quantum resonance. Our species might be naturally compatible in ways we never imagined." Queen Lyrilleth approached slowly, tears of relief streaming down her face. She's at peace. After 3 days of agony, my daughter is finally at peace. Daniel looked up at the queen, still cradling the now contented princess. Your Majesty, I think your daughter wasn't just crying from distress. I think she was crying from loneliness. Zephyrians are highly intelligent, highly developed beings. Maybe she could sense that something was missing, something her advanced species had evolved beyond but still needed on a primal level. And, what is that, Sergeant? The Queen asked. Simple, unconditional warmth. The kind that doesn't try to fix or analyze or improve. The kind that just says, I'm here, you're safe, and that's enough. As if in response to his words, Princess Solara made a soft cooing sound, her skin now glowing with healthy golden hues. Over the following hours, Daniel taught the Zephyrian caregivers the simple human techniques, holding the baby close to the chest, maintaining steady heartbeats, speaking in soft, rhythmic tones. The Queen's medical staff documented everything, marveling at the elegant simplicity of human caregiving methods. We have spent eons developing technology to solve every problem, Queen Lyrillith told Mino as they watched Daniel train the royal nursemaids. Perhaps we forgot that some solutions cannot be computed or engineered. Some solutions must be felt. As the princess finally slept peacefully in her cradle, surrounded by Zephyrian attendants now trained in human nurturing techniques, Queen Lyrillith turned to the two humans. How can we repay this debt? You have given us back our daughter, our heir, our future. Mino smiled. Your Majesty, the galaxy is vast and full of wonders we're only beginning to understand. Perhaps this is just the beginning of what our species can learn from each other. Daniel nodded, watching the sleeping princess one last time before shouldering his rifle. Sometimes the most advanced thing you can do is remember what it means to be gentle. As they departed the Crystal Palace, leaving behind a royal household finally at peace, both humans knew they had witnessed something profound. In a universe of advanced technologies and cosmic powers, sometimes the most powerful force was the simple, ancient human capacity to care. The stars seemed brighter as their ship lifted off, carrying the news that would reshape interspecies relations. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't their weapons or their technology, but their boundless ability to love and nurture life in all its forms.